If you want to master the German language but need a proven roadmap to get you there, then this video is for you. Today, I'm going to break down my fluency method that I apply for my own language learning, and that is also the core strategy that I teach my students inside my signature program, the German Fluency Academy. I'm a German native speaker and polyglot, so English is not my mother tongue, even though I get this question a lot, and I also speak Cantonese, Mandarin, and French on the conversational level. Now, I'm not telling you this to show off or anything, but rather to show you that this strategy that I'm going to teach you today is a proven system that I've repeatedly applied and that you can use for your German learning as well. So if you're ready to kickstart your German learning successfully, then give me a thumbs up and make sure to stick around till the end of this video to learn the full strategy, because each part is crucial and need to be applied together, otherwise it's not going to work. I've also created an ebook, which is a 5-step guide on how to become fluent in German that you can download for free. The link is in the description box below. If you're new here, hallo und herzlich willkommen bei Speak Fluent German. My name is Salome, and this channel is dedicated to helping you build your confidence and conversation skills in German. So if this sounds like something you need in your life, then make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my weekly lessons. And now, without further ado, let's get started. Los geht's! The foundation of the fluency pyramid is your why. Why are you learning German? This is super important to figure out because it will help you to keep on studying even when you don't feel like it or you face tough times. Knowing why you're learning will push you to overcome challenges and stick with it. So take a moment to think about why you're learning German and share it in the comments below. Are you moving to a German-speaking country? Is it for your job? Do you have German-speaking people in your life? Being clear about your reason is so important, because just saying, oh, learning German would be nice, won't be enough to become fluent. The next step is to become confident in real-life conversations. And by confident, I don't mean that it has to be perfect. I understand this might be obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people would rather play on Duolingo all day long or do grammar drills instead. While these activities do help you improve your language skills, they won't help you to become conversational in the language. The main reason we're learning languages is to communicate. So you need to be able to talk and have conversations with people. In the German Fluency Academy, my students start speaking from day one. Of course, you need to get to a certain level to hold a full conversation, but that shouldn't stop you from implementing simple phrases into your daily life if you're just getting started. My students also go through an intense training in pronunciation to really help boosting their confidence in speaking and to build a solid foundation. I know it sounds easier said than done, especially if you don't live in a German-speaking country yet, but in today's digital world of apps and social media, there are various ways of connecting with native speakers even outside of the German-speaking countries. Take Wes, for example. He is one of my students in the German Fluency Academy and lives in the US. He has connected with a local group of native speakers and meets up with them on a regular basis. This has not only done wonders to his language skills, but also he has found a new group of friends. Now, how cool is that? If you feel like you're not quite at a level yet to hold a conversation with a native and would like some help with building a good foundation, I'll link the information to the German Fluency Academy below. So the next crucial part of the fluency strategy, as I mentioned earlier, is natural pronunciation. I encourage you to start working on saying words correctly right from the beginning. Many times I've seen people learning German totally neglecting pronunciation, and it's not their fault. When you look at how German textbooks and traditional language courses are set up, you often find only a few pronunciation exercises at the end of each chapter. And most of the time, the focus is on grammar drills to help you pass a certain exam instead of actually helping you become confident in your conversational skills. This can be a problem when you advance to higher levels because people may still have trouble understanding you, even though you've put in a lot of time and effort to learn German at this point, and that can be very frustrating. So what can you do to improve your pronunciation? Here are 4 major tips that I found very helpful in my own language learning journey and that I also teach my students. Number 1, you want to pick short parts from a song or a video, ideally something that comes with a transcript. Platforms like Deutsche Welle, for example, are great for this. You choose a short part and then read it out loud and record yourself. Then you compare your recording to the original to see which sounds you need to work on. All right, tip number 2, repeat after native speakers. Okay, so this is actually a really fun one that I would do to practice my pronunciation in Mandarin or Cantonese. So if I'd hear a new word or word of which I find the pronunciation kind of difficult, I will repeat what that person has said. Now, depending on the circumstance, you might not be able to do it out loud, but you can at least do it in your head instead. If you think about it, that's how babies learn to speak. They repeat everything they hear. I really love this strategy because it doesn't take more time out of your day and you learn new words in context. If you've been around for a while, you know I always recommend learning vocabulary in context instead of trying to memorize lists and lists of words. Tip number 3 is to actively ask for feedback from native speakers. If you don't know what you're doing wrong, then how are you supposed to improve, right? So ask people around you to correct you, even if it might feel uncomfortable in the beginning. And lastly, look up words that you don't know how to pronounce. Lingui is a great tool for that, so don't be lazy on this one. The next block of the fluency pyramid is essential grammar only. Yes, grammar is important in any language, and I won't say you can become fluent without it. However, it shouldn't overwhelm you or even worse, stop you from learning German. In everyday spoken German, we don't apply all of the grammar structures. Start with focusing on the basics and what is relevant for spoken German. So here's a list of things I suggest you to study in the beginning. Conjugation of verbs in the present and past tenses. Familiarize yourself with pronouns and the various articles like definite, indefinite, or the possessive articles. Then understand the German case system and how it changes pronouns, articles, and adjective endings. And learn about basic sentence structure. Focus on these at the start and you can tackle more advanced topics later as a bonus. If this feels overwhelming, I highly suggest to check out my free training for beginners in which I go through some of the basics. The link to register for the 60-minute value-packed training is in the description box below. Next, study useful vocabulary only. In order to converse in daily life, you don't need to know every single word in the dictionary. You need the words that are relevant for your daily life and for things you like to speak about. I have a couple of videos on this channel to help you improve your vocabulary game in no time, so make sure to check these out next for more tips. The biggest mistake, however, I see German learners make is to try to memorize long lists of words. That can be very frustrating and, to be honest, boring in the long run. So my biggest tip is to learn words in context and revise them actively by applying them in your own speech. The words that we use are going to stick a lot faster. Language learning strategy. To make faster progress, you need the right strategies in place. Remember, we want to learn smarter and not harder. So what does that mean in practical steps? First of all, consistency is key. Consistently studying for shorter periods, like 30 minutes daily, is more effective than trying to cram everything into your brain in a very long session. Make it a daily habit. Also practice with a language partner. Becoming fluent happens when you actually talk to people. A language partner is a great way to practice and prepare to use German in real life. And most importantly, be patient. Progress takes time and learning a language doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and practice, so be patient with yourself. So we have arrived at the top of the fluency pyramid, and I think this is one of the most important part of learning a language successfully, which is fun. If you enjoy the process, you will be consistent, you will have patience, and you're more capable of embracing mistakes. So switch things up, don't just follow textbook the whole time or play on language apps. Get out there and apply what you've learned. The world out there is the best classroom you can get, and that's also where all the fun is. So here you have it, my fluency method. Your why, confidence in real life conversations, natural pronunciation, essential grammar, useful vocabulary, language learning strategies, and fun. So I hope you have found today's video helpful and I was able to save you from a lot of mistakes I made in my own language learning journey. I'll be back next week with another lesson for you guys. Das ist alles für heute. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!